All right. Oops. Just gonna come over here and do that. Okay. Hello. Just gonna get myself on YouTube. Just sign in over here so that I can see comments. Okay. All right. So happy Sunday, because it's Sunday here. Ooh. Once again, let's turn off my volume there. Okay. Right. So foodie hi and happy Sunday. It's Anna the Keto Foodie here, and we're having a quick live chat here on Sunday. And today I just wanted to cover a couple of quick things. But first of all, hello to Facebook and hello to YouTube, because once again, I'm doing a double. So to get started, what I wanted to touch on today, just really quickly, is a couple of things that I've gotten questions actually this week, and also just touching on a show that came on the BBC over here in the UK, and just it just brings up the whole thing with really. Oh, when whenever the people do something with keto and they do a segment, what they actually look to achieve or what they're looking for, and what actually gets edited and put into the program are two completely different things. So, want to talk about that just a bit, but also a bit about keto and exercise when it comes to exercise and what kind of keto exercise, what kind of exercise is best for keto. The first one is, again, there was a BBC program here in the UK called Food Truth or Scare, and it was a week-long program, and the whole point to their program was basically, taking a lot of these um, headlines as far as foods, as far as diets, and they were trying to get to is it, to the point of deciding whether it's just a scare tactic, or if it's something that actually works, and should you be listening to it? So, okay, and actually, I was contacted. Several people were contacted, but somebody contacted me from the BBC regarding this program. Now, apparently, I had been on it for too long, but they asked if one of my keto foodies, hi, Jen, um, but they were asking me if any one of my keto foodies would be available um, to interview. So I put them in touch with one of my keto foodies and made sure I asked her first and said, there's no pressure on this, but again, knowing all of the stuff that happens with people reporting keto, I said to her, listen, I'm happy to be there with you and support you, and just make sure that they're not trying to mess you around and trying to get to an angle that, you know, makes you feel uncomfortable. And she said, yeah, sure, no problem, I'll do it. She had just started not long ago. So I went over the day that they shot the program, and it was a few hours of them interviewing her and doing some filming, her going into the refrigerator and making something to eat. And I have to say, Helen was amazing. For someone who had just started keto, she'd really done her research. We had had a couple of conversations regarding this. And her answers were absolutely fantastic. So go Helen, go Helen, go Helen. But at the end of it all, what they were looking for was somebody who had just started, and what they were going to do was come back and just kind of touch base with her and see how it went after a few months. So sure enough, they did that, and she had a conversation with them, and she did really well. She had already lost, believe it was about 7 pounds, or half a stone, when by the time that she had spoken to them for the interview, and then she went on to lose even more weight. Um, so it was fantastic for her, great results. Even, her husband is also on it, and for health reasons, and it's been doing fantastic on keto in regards to health and all of the symptoms that he has. Oh, fantastic. So excited for him as well. Um, However, by the time the show came on and they had all of these stories got shortened down and edited into 15 minutes, along with someone else, one of the presenters doing keto. And of course, they had nutritionists and doctors and things. And I had such high hopes that this would be um, some of a piece that didn't already sort of have an angle, and that didn't already sort of go, this doesn't work. And that's exactly what it felt like. So within these 15 minutes, her amazing interview got shortened down to just a couple of minutes. Um, it was cut in a way that served the purposes of what the segment was trying to push. Obviously, that keto wasn't sustainable, blah, blah, blah. So what they were saying was, they had a nutritionist who sort of went, told the presenter, these are the things that you can eat, which was for the most part fine. Of course, there were green beans on there, and green beans shouldn't be on there because they're not actually keto friendly. But, okay, in general, what he was saying was correct. And the presenter went all in, and he said, actually, this looks great. Bacon and eggs made with butter in the morning. This is fine. This is fine. But throughout the 15 minutes, you had nutritionists saying, oh, this is not a normal way to eat, and anything that takes, several, areas of food away should be looked at, and this is not a natural, the keto way is not a natural way to eat, which really kind of got the hairs on my back, on my neck, to stand up, because first of all, so what is the natural way of eating? Highly processed foods, or natural cuts of meat with natural fats, with natural vegetables. But anyway, and then they had somebody from one diabetic group. Oh, hi, it's Night. Pure RATs. What are RAT? What are RA? What are rats? What are RATs? Let me know. Um, but um, but you had him from one diabetic group here in the UK saying, oh, if you're on keto, you risk hypoglycemia. And again, why? Why would you say that? Because that's not necessarily true. Yes, perhaps in for type 1 diabetics, you would have issues. You might have issues. That's why we say if you're a type 1 diabetic, keto is probably not for, oh, well, that's not good. This is why we say type 1 diabetes, go and find speak with your doctor. But as far as a type 2 diabetic, then as I am a type 2 diabetic, I can tell you for certain, for me, that issues with hypoglycemia went away, because, from my understanding, when when your body's highly dependent on burning glucose, as you're making the transition from burning glucose to burning fats, then you might feel a bit of that hypoglycemic. This is why for me, I would recommend to someone, say, do it slowly. Um, and work your way down so that you're not completely cutting your uh, glycogen stores and feeling that, um, and feeling those, those issues of low, glycemic and hypoglycemia. So you don't want to go from too much carbs to almost nothing, especially if you're diabetic. You want to work your way down. However, um, as my body switched to burning fat, then um, I found that I could go longer and longer without eating in between meals without having that drop. I went longer um, without feeling ill if I hadn't eaten often. So I'm not sure why they push this whole business with hypoglycemia. Perhaps it could be because, unlike the other diabetic group in the UK, they don't promote low carb eating. They promote a different diet, actually. So I'm a bit dubious um, about why um, they would kind of, I think, do a bit of scaremongering, in my own opinion. But again, it just goes to show you, and I know it's difficult when you have people who will watch something like this and say, well, you see, all of these doctors are saying keto's not healthy. Well, again, one, who are these doctors and what's their agenda? Because again, this was a doctor from a group that was advocating a specific diet that was not low carb. So you have to sort of watch that from, watch that. And also, most of these programs already have an opinion. So just be really careful when it comes to watching that. And also, if any of these programs have you questioning a certain part, so, does keto cause, um, does it cause, um, hypoglycemia? Then go look for it. Go to Google, type up, does it cause hypoglycemia? Do you have issues? And then read up and look at the research about it. Um, and you can find the answers there. A lot of doctors don't understand ketos. They never do their research. And it's true. You have doctors who don't think um, that this is worthy of being educated on. Whenever you have somebody who is saying, no, this isn't working, this isn't something that you should do, there are a couple of people that you can point them to. Definitely Professor Tim Noakes and the Noakes Foundation. They're doing a whole lot of research when it comes to diabetes, how keto and low carb in general uh, um, affects type 2 diabetics. And you'll see, they can see that there is a lot of help when it comes to reversing type 2 diabetes. Um, eh, so the other people you can point them to is Verta Health. They have lots and lots of information when it comes to keto, when it comes to heart health, because they're doing keto. One of the things that even Professor Noakes mentions is that the Verta research that has been done on type 2 diabetics who have been put on keto, they were measuring 24 different heart health factors, and 23 out of the 24 uh, got better and increased and went up. The one that didn't change was cholesterol. And as Professor Noakes points out, what they were measuring in the cholesterol doesn't really um, matter. Look it up. Um, all of their heart health factors were improved. These are people who technically shouldn't be on keto, type 2 diabetics. And apparently, if keto is the worst of the diets, then they shouldn't have been on it. But actually, all of them got better, increased, decreased their dependence on their medication. So those are two places where you can point people to if they have any issues when it comes to whether the keto diet is a good diet, whether it helps, whether it does what it says it does. Now, I was glad that they turned around and talked about the fact that it helped with epilepsy and the young girl who is so much better and went down to almost no seizures by being on keto. I did not like the fact that it was followed by a doctor saying that this is not sustainable long term. Well, if you have epilepsy, obviously, and keto's helping because medication's not helping, obviously this would be long term. So I'm not sure why he's saying that. But that's that. Um, Keto has helped go longer without wanting carbs and seems to be avoiding the sugar crashes because not loading up on carbs. And if I do it in little bits during the day, usually at work only. Exactly. The more you're fat adapted, the more you realize that your body, and you can feel it too. And there's also this little bit of energy. You're not going to be bouncing off the walls. However, you will find that you perhaps have more mental clarity, that you can just simply do things. And that was something that I could not do before. Nowadays, the more fat adapted I get, the more I can just continue to go and keep going. And that's something that I could not do before because I was wiped out mentally, physically, feeling sick, constantly having to eat something else. And so I totally get you, Jen. It helped my grandson that is autistic. Yes, actually, one of the things that if you watched the movie on Netflix, The Magic Pill, it has also started to be used for certain children who are autistic, and it has been very helpful. And I'm wondering if that has to do mainly for the same reasons that it helps with the epilepsy. And I love the fact that young children who were non-communicative, who were having issues with being able to connect, were suddenly able to, in a very short amount of time, be able to connect, to even speak, and to function better. And I loved that fact. So that's another one to look at, the magic pill. Um, Now, that's the BBC program. The other thing that I wanted to touch upon today was one of the questions that I've received a few times is the fact of, well, how does exercise help with keto, and what types of exercise should I be doing? And I am a blah. I need coffee. I'm an instructor, an exercise to music instructor, and I teach Zumba and I teach a belly dance workout. And I have lots of people who come to me, and of course, they're looking to lose weight, and they do. And they just get fitter. And as the saying goes, exercise should be a celebration of what your body can do, not a punishment for what you ate. I love that saying. That being said, you have a lot of people who say, well, you don't have to exercise um, to, if you're doing keto, exercise is not really necessary, but it helps. And technically true. I've seen many people talk about the fact that they've lost a lot of weight when it comes to keto, just being on keto and not really exercising. And you know what? That's fine for them. Um, and however, for when it comes to exercise, the fact that you're doing exercise also helps, first of all, burn through the few bits of carbs and protein that you are eating on a daily basis. They help get those ketones going. But it also, remember, when you're exercising and building muscle, muscle burns fat. So you are continuing to help your fat burn, which would then help you with the weight loss or help you with being able to function on a daily basis. You get a lot of people who have issues with perhaps joints or arthritis, or mild cases of arthritis, or have back issues, and then they remain seated. They don't move around, and actually, for many people, that actually aggravates the situation. Because what your body says is, if you're not gonna move, we'll help you not move. And I know that I feel that if over the weekend I haven't moved a lot, my legs get stiffer, my knees get stiffer. Now I have issues with my knees, but they get stiffer if I'm not moving them around. And so whether you're walking around, whether you're doing housework, whether you're going to the gym, moving your body makes sure that your joints keep moving, make sure that your circulation continues. You get all, if you're working out, and especially if you're doing a fun activity like cardio, or um, something that you enjoy doing, the endorphins that you get helps to relieve symptoms that can get you into depression, things that make you happier, and it keeps your whole body ticking. Now, what exercise is best for keto? Again, when it comes to keto, you want to be burning fat. So really, exercises that help build your muscle are really the best ones. Now, it's not to say that you can't do cardio. Like I said, I teach two um, classes that have a lot of cardio in them. However, if you're not, if that's the only thing you do, then just that's fine, because it'll burn calories. But at the same time, um, get in there a few movements that will help build muscle. And you know what? You don't even have to go to the gym. Walking around on a daily basis, the more you walk, of course, helps to keep your leg muscles nice and tight. Um, Lifting things in your house, even if it's just in your home, if you're taking, let's say a liter water bottle and just raising it above your head, doing some curls with it, all of that. You do not need um, dumbbells or equipment. You don't need to go to the gym, go up and down the stairs. All of those movements, cleaning the house, a deep clean will help you. Get a nice sweat on, do some gardening in the back. All of those will help continue to keep your body working at a better um, a better rate, will keep your joints nice and loose, will keep you burning the the fat that you've been ingesting, going through the glucose, all of that will continue to tick along. And again, the more you move, the more your body will ensure that you can move. Now, again, that doesn't mean, if you have a condition where that cannot happen, that's a different story. However, if you can, and if you have, like I said, if you have knees that are not happy with you, gentle walking alone can be fine, but you can also work out your muscles in your arms, you can work out your core, other areas in your body that can help you to A, burn the fat, and B, continue to keep ticking along. And that's what I have for the exercise question, and I hope that helped you. So for now, that is what I've had. Do you have any questions that I can answer? If not, I'm just going to grab my drink here. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know, how are you doing? How are things going for this week? The other thing that I wanted to say is that I am actually going to go back and I'm going to restart my vlogs. I really think that for me, with everything that's been going on, it's been a bit crazy these past couple of months. And I think for me to refocus, I'm going to restart my weekly vlog. But the way I'm going to do it is here on Sundays. So I have restarted because a little bit before Christmas, during Christmas, gained a bit of weight because I went off and indulged, and then got back on. And then there was this whole business with stress that came from some bad news when it came to work, and that sort of drove me off again. And I think for me, being accountable and sharing with you how the week has done, how I've done, for me is something that would help me. And hopefully, if you've been listening, perhaps something that happened during the week might resonate with you. Jen, can you resend the info from the start of the challenge, the measurement charts? I do miss your blogs, but hope all is well. Well, Jen, I'm going back. So I'm going back to the vlogs. So they'll be back. You can watch them. And yes, for those of you who are on my challenge, and we are now on the third part of the challenge. Okay, so the first part was challenge. It was the start. The second step was the adjustment period. So we're at the end of that. And the third step for the third month was burn, baby, burn. So hopefully by now you have gotten your body to adapt, be fat adapted. And over this next month, we'll take a look at how you're doing and how you can optimize that burn. But yes, Jen, I can resend you the info from the start of the challenge, because I sent to those people who were on the challenge, I sent them body measurement worksheets, as well as weekly food trackers and some other sheets as well. So yeah, that I can do. All right. Any other questions or any other comments? If not, this will be a short a short live video, which is okay. Not a problem, because I have to cook anyway. Not a problem, Jen. Yeah, we'll definitely resend you those. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to close this down and end it for this week. So next week, we will have a live chat. That will be how I do my my weekly vlogs. So my weekly vlogs will be answering your questions, talking about the things that have happened during the week in the keto world, and also updating you on how my week went and how I'm doing. So until then, I say to you, have a fantastic keto journey. And until next time, foodie bye. And now, once again, I'm going to sign off. Where's the